If you've ever dreamt of going to New York City, you might have pictured the frolics down Central Park like in Sex and the City, or the walks down Madison Avenue like in Gossip Girl, or the buzzing inside the high-rises like in 30 Rock. And hey, maybe you experienced that, but maybe you didn't. Maybe you experienced the rat-infested subways, the unnerving homelessness, and the incessant, faint smell of vape smoke, garbage, and melting cement. The latter is the harsh reality of what a lot of people in New York City experience. This hyper-realistic, unfiltered, messy, and unhinged nature of trying to make it, or at least survive, in a city that should feel ripe with opportunities at every turn, is the undercurrent of Lena Dunham's Girls. This shambly wannabe little sister of Sex and the City turned millions of millennials completely unhinged. So we're gonna deep dive into the heart of the show and really use it as a mirror. Because the same hyper-realism that makes Girls so gloriously uncomfortable to watch is also the thing that, when you apply it in real life, can help you have deeper friendships. The boldness to speak up for that raise you've wanted, that confidence to clap back on that toxic ex, and the perfect mix of delulu and reality to pursue all of your biggest dreams.
I have work, and then I have a dinner thing, and then I am busy trying to become who I am.
I think it's literally the first episode where Hannah's parents come to her and they're like, listen, we need to cut you off. Like, you are spending all of our money. You have this unpaid internship. This was like the moment that I fell in love with this show, this first episode, because I'm like, first of all, the way that Lena Dunham talks is just hilarious. Like, she could literally read the dictionary and I think we would all crack up. The truth of this, I think there's so many times where we're trying to skeet around something. I know right now I'm planning my wedding and I'm being put in this really interesting position because I'm really grateful that like my parents are paying for it, right? And so I'm trying to figure out the best way to say like, I really want this venue, but like I know that you're paying for it, so how do I say that I really want it without feeling entitled? Like, there's all this talk, there's all this jumping around and trying to find the perfect words. And just immediately, like the first episode, she's just like, I need more money. I'm trying to become who I am. And I think there's so much truth to all of us with this. It's like, what happened if the inner monologue came out? For me, I'm like, I want this venue right now. Please do whatever you can to get it. Like, I know this sounds entitled, or maybe I'm not even thinking about it, but I just thought that was such a great reflection of all of us. And I was laughing my butt off.
So this guy's making you bananas.
I've never experienced anything like it. The thing is, I have absolutely no sense of how he really feels about me, because when we are together, he's so there and he's so present, and then he disappears for 2 weeks and doesn't answer any text messages, and I feel as though I invented him.
Did you?
This was like the first, I think, intro that we all had to Shoshanna. I don't know about you, but I had this like an initial moment where I'm like, she's so annoying. But like, she said, I don't even know. She said like one line and I'm like, oh my God, I love her so much. She's my favorite character. We all have Shoshanna in us. I don't know if you've been in a friend group where you're like the youngest one. Maybe it's your cousins, maybe it's your siblings, and you're trying so hard to get with the program. And there is this sense of feeling cool because when you talk to other people about this friend group, you're like, yeah, all my friends are like 21 and all my friends are like, you know, my cousin's bohemian and like a traveler and my other friend's a writer. But then when you're with them, you feel like the biggest loser ever.
Listen, ladies, a tough love approach to the tough game of love.
Okay, I'm gonna admit that I've read that book.
Oh my God, it like totally changes your perspective, right? Okay, if a man doesn't take you on a date, he's not interested, point blank. Let's meet up with friends is not a date. It's a date for him to decide whether you're truly good enough to date, and that's unacceptable, ladies.
There have to be exceptions to that rule.
Sex from behind is degrading, point blank. You deserve someone who wants to look in your beautiful face, ladies.
What if I want to focus on something else? What if I want to feel like I have others? This woman doesn't care about what I want.
Wait, but here's my question. Who are the ladies?
Avi, we're the ladies.
I'm not the ladies.
Yeah, you're the ladies.
I'm not the ladies.
Yes, you are. You're the ladies.
You're being unfair. You can't force me to be a lady.
I'm not forcing you to be a lady. You just... Okay, I'm a lady. She's a lady. You're a lady. We're the ladies.
This might have been when I fell in love with Shoshanna, really, because there's a moment when you become from your teen years to your adult years where all of a sudden there's all these like books I feel like that are written, like I'm thinking like men are from Mars, women are from Venus. All of a sudden there's this like huge dichotomy, even more from when you're a teenager. Because obviously when you're a teenager, you're like, oh my God, boys and girls. But then for some reason, like when you become in your 20s, there's this whole thing of like, we're from different planets. Even watching Sex and the City, which they reference in the show, there's this understanding that like women understand Sex and the City and like men don't. It's like this different language. And I love the idea of them opening up with these books, these like adult books that we used to find in like our moms and our aunts' cabinets and we had no idea what it was about. It's now about us. We now fall into that category. It's almost like this coming of age experience. You know, the first time something that's really cliche becomes true for you and you actually say it to someone and you're like, I know this is cliche, but it's true. It's kind of that realization for them when they're like, I'm finally part of this like percentage of women that like I'm an adult woman. And when they're speaking to people, they're speaking to me. And this is also when Shoshanna is very open about the fact that she's like still a virgin and all of this, again, coming of age stuff where she's with all these other girls. And we're really questioning like, are we a part of this mass understanding of what it's like to be a woman? Are we outside of it? This is why Lena, I think, is so ahead of her time because she's already questioning, you're already questioning, do I feel like I belong or do I feel like I'm an outlier? You know, we're talking nowadays, like there are so many ways that people identify themselves, right? And so even all the way back to 2012, when the show started, we're already talking about how do we identify? Do we identify as one of the ladies? Do we not identify as one of the ladies?
Why not? Being honest is fun.
What are you talking about, Josh?
I'm talking about the fact that you're a fucking narcissist. Seriously, I've never met anyone else who thinks their own life is so fucking fascinating. I wanted to fall asleep in my own vomit all day, listening to you talk about how you bruise more easily than other people.
Are you serious?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, people have been calling me a narcissist since I was 3, so it doesn't really upset me. You gotta try something more creative.
Yeah, it really has no effect on you.
Now you. So we're untabling our issues then.
I wanted to do this at dinner. Oh my God. Can you chill the fuck out about dinner? Seriously, that duck tasted like a used condom and I want to forget about it. Josh has gone totally.
This is the first moment, and this is in season 3, but there's probably sprinkles of it where even these two clips right next to each other. The first one is season 1, and this could be like, maybe you want to understand season 1 as like your 20s or when you turn 21, right? There's a season 1 for you when you're all of a sudden like, who am I? Where do I land with all of this? Where do I land as an adult? And then season 3, all of a sudden, drunk Shosh becomes like the voice of reason. And there are so many videos about how like Shosh actually was the most mature one in girls. And we see a lot of that here. She's realizing, am I a part of the ladies? Maybe this is a moment in Shosh's experience where she doesn't feel like she's a part of the ladies. And maybe that's something you've also experienced in your life where you're like, do I belong here? Maybe I don't belong here. And we know later on in the season, basically one of the last episodes where she's just like, this is why we can't hang out anymore. Like we don't bring out the best in each other. What I want you to get from all of this and why I love talking about this is that film, television, art, pop culture, pop music, it's all a mirror. And we might not be going into it saying, hey, I'm gonna learn about myself today. I'm gonna, like you go into therapy maybe, but we are subconsciously always seeing ourselves in these different characters. And the reason why shows like Sex and the City and Girls are so widely relatable is that there is a little piece of us in every single character. Not one character, again, is such a far outlier because we wouldn't be able to identify with that. We wouldn't be able to identify with the villain. I don't think a lot of us are just like, oh my gosh, I really identify with like Ursula from The Little Mermaid. It's very obvious she's evil. Ariel is good. Let's move on. But when it comes to a show like Girls, there's not one right or wrong. It's very gray. We see a lot of self-questioning. And that's a reason why the show, I think, really gives us permission to be the most unhinged versions of ourselves. Because we've already seen a lot of examples where, for instance, like Hannah is being like, but I really want this. Like, can I just have like 6 more months of your money with my unpaid internship as I write my book because I feel like I'm the voice of my my generation. We have this unhinged nature that we want to say out loud. And sometimes it serves its purpose. Sometimes it's mean. Sometimes it's nice. Do we hate Shosh for this? I don't think any of us walked away from this episode saying, oh my gosh, Shosh is the mean one right now. So what does that mean for you when it comes to speaking up in your own life?
Maybe she's gone insane.
You guys never listen to me.
Amongst all the crazy things that Jessa says, I mean, I was just watching a clip today, maybe it'll come up later, where Shosh accidentally like takes, like she does or something and Jessa's just like, it's okay, like it can be really fun. Or like she says something about like, it can be really fun. It's totally fine. Then there's moments where she's like, actually she's spot on like this. Maybe she's sane. Maybe all of us are crazy.
You treat me like I'm a fucking cab driver. Seriously, you have entire conversations in front of me like I am invisible. And sometimes I wonder if my social anxiety is holding me back from meeting the people who would actually be right for me instead of a bunch of fucking whiny nothings as friends.
The foreshadowing of this, I'm so curious to know if Lena knew that by season 6, by the last season, Shosh would end up basically saying the exact same thing. I don't know if she was planting this. I'm sure she was because she's a genius, but wow.
I would call you a little unstimulating.
Unstimulating? What are we in, like a fucking Jane Austen novel? What do I want to be like you? Like mentally ill and miserable? Whoa. When did we start with all this name calling, guys?
My first watch around, I was like, Marnie's horrible. She's awful. And obviously she's terrible to guys. But throughout this entire show, she's constantly trying to get everyone together. Internally, I think I've had moments, I'm sure you've had moments too, where you're thinking back to like maybe old high school friends that you've had, or old college friends that you've had, or even friends that you've maybe had in your early 20s or teens that you want so hard to stay in touch with, but life just keeps moving in a different direction. I think we all have a little bit of Marnie in us where we're like, no, this could work, right? Even with relationships, even with romantic relationships, thinking back to, well, we had this amazing day this one day, so how could it not work? I think it's so fascinating that she has so many different ways that she handles friendships versus romantic relationships.
I did not start with the name calling. I started with your fucking honesty idea, Miss Tanlegs.
I never talked to you that way.
You are tortured by self-doubt and fear, and it is not pleasant to be around.
That is really fucking mean. It is really mean what you just said, Shoshanna.
I'm so fucking sick of all of you.
I really miss my boyfriend, who asks me for nothing, so I give him everything.
There's this like martyr vibes that happens so much with Hannah throughout this show, where it just reminds me of this one scene where she's just like, I am 7 pounds overweight and my life is awful. Like, Lena Dunham is creating a mirror for herself. That's why I love her so much, is she's so self-aware that she's like, guys, this is me. Like, this is all of us. All of us are, on the surface, we can be talking to our friends and be like, no, I don't really think I'm all that great. But then to ourselves, we're like, I give him everything. And I like, it's so true.
Dozens of neighbors heard her cries for help and did nothing. And you are about to become one of them. The staircases behind me lead to the apartments in which the play will be taken.
Can we just recognize like her, why was her haircut exactly like Fran's? Is that like a choice? Was that a choice? Did Lena Dunham just want shorter hair? I just love it. That moment, so it was a recreation of a murder, right? But showing like that recreation and how it almost looked like an intimate moment, like the guy was on top of the girl, and then you're seeing both of them, the violence of that recreation, and then fast forward to a few episodes where Jessa and Adam are fighting and also being intimate. Like, wow, just so much in that scene. It mimics a lot of Hannah's experience with Adam too, how she talks a lot about like their violence and aggression. My first watch through, I didn't like Adam the first few seasons, and then I don't know, there was a certain moment maybe in season 2 where I was like, oh my God, like maybe when she was having an OCD moment and he went to run after her. And I know that when she initially wrote Adam, she was like, he's meant to be unlikable, then everyone ended up liking him. But what an amazing scene right there.
Oh, hi. Marnie.
Oh, Shoshanna's outfit in this, like, she looks like a 20s flapper.
Right?
No, not right. And I don't know who you are, and I don't care to know. And that is all I have to say about it. Is she in here?
Yes.
Banana? Oh my God. Hi, Shosh.
So dramatic.
I understand this is about your pain and your devastation, totally, and I'm gonna get you a hot cup of tea for that, like in just a mo. But am I the only one who doesn't know about this?
We loved each other, Shosh. We loved each other, and nothing has changed. Okay, I'm the same person I was when he loved me. In fact, I'm an arguably better person because I went away and figured out what I want.
Hannah, we are going to get through this.
I want to die.
No, you don't. You and me and Jessa and/or Marnie, we are going to get through this together. If they ever show up or call back, I'll say you have absolutely lost weight, and that is a definite.
Yes, 2.5 pounds.
Yeah, I know, that's a lot. We need to find out every possible detail about this rando hussy immediately.
My laptop's in my bag.
Okay, what's your name again?
Mimi Rose Howard.
Of course it is. Mimi-Rose space Howard. Mimi Rose Howard, visiting artist keynote address?
Wait, okay, I want to see this.
You know what? I don't think that we should watch this. Okay, you know what? We're not watching this. It was a bad idea.
No, I want to finish it. I need to finish it.
That it's not a good idea.
I need to finish it,
It's not a good
Shoshanna.
idea. I think that no! You know what I think would be a good idea? If you and I went to my lodgings and I made you that warm mug of tea that we were talking about, and maybe you took a bath.
No, thank you. Bye, Shosh. Thank you for stopping by.
I just think that this is really not a safe space. Oh my God, okay, you just boob hit me with your foot. Oh my God.
I'm okay. I just want to be alone.
This is hopefully not making me sound like conceited in any way. I've been told that I look like Gillian Jacobs, and I definitely believe I am like the Wish version of Gillian Jacobs in every way. She is such an amazing actor. I remember like listening to one of her interviews. She went to Juilliard, I believe, and she just has this like really unique experience with Juilliard. Isn't your middle name Rose? And she's like, no, it's Eleanor. But this was a sad moment. This was sad. And Shoshanna just was really funny. In just a mo, Hannah's just like, why does everybody think that like a cup of tea is going to help me? And that's just a funny thing. One of the another like coming of age thing that I think happens is when we become in our 20s, we're kind of like, okay, like we go out and we drink and we come back, and when it's a Sunday we drink tea, or like when we need to relax we drink tea. There's like rules. Again, going back to, are we the ladies? It's like the ladies, we drink tea when we need to be calm. Like maybe she read that in the book. What a real scene this was. I've never experienced something quite like this, like being out all night, falling asleep on the subway, but I've had experiences where I just kind of don't know what to do next. And a paid actor in this scene, I feel like is this, I don't remember what she ended up having, this aluminum, whatever like container she had of like food. If you've ever lived in a city, this is something that happens. Like when you have a car, you can go home, you can drop things off, and then you can kind of just hang out in your room. But when you're in a city and the subways stop running at a certain time, I don't exactly remember what the scenario was in this scene, but like the subways will stop running at a certain time. And then you kind of have to make the decision, like, am I going to spend $20 to $60, depending on where you live, for a cab to drive me all the way home, or am I just gonna kind of like let it take me? That's one of the great parts of Girls 2 is the beauty of showing public transit. You don't see a single subway in the entirety of Sex and the City. I think I could put money behind that I don't think I ever see a single subway. They're always taking cabs. They're always somehow walking everywhere. Going back to the hyper-realism of this, of just letting like, I got to, especially with public transit, usually if you're living in the city, you have like an unlimited subway pass. So you're just like, all right, I might as well just get on the subway, right? And just see where it takes me, and then I can always just use it later. I have unlimited. The realism of this, of her just, and then carrying around this piece of food. And I remember when I was living in New York City, I was catering to tech companies in Manhattan. I was catering to companies like Venmo and PayPal and Slack. And I remember we weren't allowed to eat the food. Like I would basically, these tech companies would have food catered to them for lunch, and I would be the one that like takes out the food. Our team was like, you're not allowed to eat the food. But I was like, oh my God, this is like a free meal. And so like sneak food. So any opportunity you would get when you were, especially out in Manhattan, to be able to take out food and like have a little doggy bag, you take it. This is just such a beautiful scene, even without any context or any words, to show that feeling of when you're kind of like, yeah, I'm gonna take out the food because that saves money. That saves money. And I'm going to stay on the subway because that saves money, so I don't have to take a cab. I'm going to let the wind take me because I don't really have a job right now, or I'm kind of like in between jobs, or I just don't even care. I'm already running on 2 hours of sleep. There's this moment where you're kind of like, I don't care. I'm just gonna let it take me. And sometimes that's okay. Sorry, Lena, I just paused at like a crazy scene of you opening your mouth like that, but you look awesome. I think we're in Coney Island. So she took I don't remember what train that is, but she took the train to Coney Island. It's dawn right now, and she's eating some leftover food out of an aluminum foil. She has this beautiful shot of Coney Island in the background, and she's grounding. She's got no shoes on her feet. That's one of the things about New York City too, is there's really no rules. I don't remember if she went on the subway without shoes. I remember later on in the season, that iconic scene in Panic at Central Park with Marnie and Charlie, but she's walking back without shoes. There's really no rules. There's no rules. If you're driving around and you're going to a actual place, like, you know, where I'm in right now in Greenville, like they'd be like, hey, no shoes, no shirt, no service. But in New York City, they don't, oh my gosh, in the subways, you can do anything in the subways. She is very much using her free will. And right now what she needs is like, she needs to be sitting on the beach barefoot, eating her leftover food. And sometimes that's just what we need, and that's okay. Another thing that I realized immediately when I started watching this show is if you look at the color grading of a show like this compared to a show, say like Ted Lasso, Shrinking, where the set is a huge part of it, and the colors in the set and the depths of the set. Whereas what I noticed immediately when watching the show is it's very this. I'm forgetting the word right now, but it's very this. And I think that just furthers this idea that Girls is like the Shoshanna of like Sex and the City maybe being Jessa, right? Girls is Shoshanna. Girls is the little sister, the little cousin who has a lot less of that experience and that sexiness that Sex and the City has. It's all rooted in hyper-realism. And when you're living in these situations where like Hannah's getting money from her parents, a lot of these, like, they don't have money, right? Like, no, they're showing that in the coloring. They're showing that we're very limited on the resources. We're very limited on the colors. We're not going to make the colors so bright because when you're living in an experience like that, it's not going to feel bright. Think back to like the worst job you've ever had. Did you walk in there looking at all of the bright colors and being like, wow, life is beautiful and life is amazing? No, you were like, oh my God, you were putting on your blinders. You were just waiting to finish. And it felt bland. It felt bland. And I'm not saying that the show is bland. I'm not saying like that the production itself is bland, but the way that they did this coloring, it's very desaturated oversaturated would feel like you see all the colors and they're so bright. Whereas the way Girls is color graded, it's very desaturated, because that's the way you're gonna feel when you're experiencing a lot of these really dark emotions that a lot of these characters are feeling.
It's this cross-pollination that, like, blogs becoming books, which then become TV shows.
Yeah, don't worry, just breathe.
Ugh. Just this scene right here, as someone who went to theater school, and if you've ever been in like a theater class or some sort of art class, you know exactly what's going on in a scene like this, where you're around people who are trying to sound so pretentious, and maybe that's you too. I'm sure I tried to sound really pretentious. But when I went to school for theater, a lot of people were amazing. But there, you know, there would always just be that one moment, and again, I was very much also like that, where you would try to sound so deep and you'd try to be like, oh, like this was because of this, and I'm, oh, commentary on like society and blah, blah, blah. And even this scene right now where like Hannah's just looking back and forth and she's like, why are you guys so annoyed? Even from Hannah, when she was back in New York, because this is when she's at school, right? When she's back in New York, she probably feels like the most pretentious one in her friend group. Although Marnie's an artist, like Hannah's a writer, right? She's like a little more cerebral, but she's in this school and she's like, why is everybody like this?
Nobody's gonna force you to watch The Fault in Our Stars.
You guys sound so old. And I don't get why we're so judgy about popular writing. I write one story with a blowjob in it and suddenly I'm 50 Shades of Grey girl.
Yeah, that wasn't just because of the blowjob.
These people were so insufferable. They were so insufferable. And now I'm seeing like how my theater department probably felt to the rest of the school. Is we're talking about, oh, these playwrights and all these, this writing. I mean, for me, it was for musical theater, not for plays, but we can be so insufferable.
With an and?
And it's the same kind of patriarchal bullshit female authors have been dealing with for centuries. You're part of it.
Take it easy. You're starting to sound a little hysterical here, okay?
Hysteria? Hysteria is how they diagnosed women who they found uppity in the 1800s.
And as a reminder, I don't remember exactly what season we're on, but this show started in 2012. So I think even now people are starting to come to realize that there's certain terms that just are like associated with women. Hysteria, like, oh, you're sounding hysterical. Obviously that wouldn't be said now. I don't even think that would be said in a context like this now, but just remember, this was way before 2020 even. This was probably like 2014. Lena, like, really using this as a mirror and being like, hey, this is what I've experienced. I want to show you guys in a tangible way. I remember my friend asked me a few weeks ago, like, why do you want to be a performer? Like, what is it about being a performer, about being an artist that you feel like serves the world? And for me, I'm like, it's being a mirror. The best way for people to understand and learn is through examples. And examples are done through TV shows and movies. Now, I don't know if necessarily every single creator is like, hey, I want to teach people something from the show. A writer has a need to say something, and it's always a mirror into what their experience is. Whether this character is similar to Lena, is more similar to her, or less similar to her, it's experiences that she's had that she wants to highlight and put into a specific perspective. And I think the best way to do that is how she does it, where she's showing both sides. I think there's some TV shows now where they're being very clear about like their political views, and I mean, like, whatever, it's fine. I just think it's a little lazy. I think that it's a lot stronger where you put out a perspective and then you let the viewer decide how they feel about it. And that's what I think Lena does such an amazing job in Girls about. 1 second you're like, wow, Hannah's saying something really smart here, so maybe Lena is talking about, you know, feminism and la la la. But then in the next scene, she's being super irrational and actually like immature. I think that's a really great way of showing that you need to decide for yourself what you feel, because all these characters are imperfect.
Excuse to remove their ovaries.
That was not my intent. I was just saying it's getting a little electric in here.
Being pigeonholed isn't fun. And if you guys doubt me, why don't you take a turn in the hot seat? For example, look at Jeffrey. What a little rich, whiny white guy. Thinks he's updike. Thinks it's a revolution that he hates his parents. You probably only have one ball.
I have 2 balls, thank you.
I don't know why you're laughing, Chester. You are a tragically hip Gasian.
Thank you.
Who is writing manic, pixie, dream girl, pseudo, weetsy bat bullshit. Your whole story was just like a winky eye emoji followed by a poop emoji. Chandra.
All right, yeah.
We started out as friends, now I'm not so sure. But you were blessed with an exotic name, and now you get to be the first and foremost authority on third world issues here in Iowa. Priya, if you keep writing about prison in the South, I'm going to murder someone and go to prison right here in Iowa. Logan.
Right, Hannah, what?
You are the most bad mood Millie. There's like a storm cloud over our whole classroom. Get it together. Take an Ativan.
You have no idea what medications I'm already on, frankly, Hannah.
We've got D-August. I know. We don't mention D-August because he's the golden boy of our program and we're all busy, licking his anus, his balls, and his taint.
Somebody's licking my balls? I didn't know that.
But this patron saint of the streets thing, it's bullshit. We know it. This is not a hardened criminal. This guy's never been to jail. Can I see your record? Can I see your criminal record? Guys, this is what history does to us. And I don't want to be the only one who's honest. I want us to be honest together. I think it's better that you guys chew on all of this without me.
I mean, the fact that she just says something as simple as, I want everyone to be honest together. And no one knows what to say to that in a program where you're supposed to write and be authentic. And she's just asking to be honest. And everyone's like, what's that word? What do you mean? I'm so curious where she got these characters from, if this was an experience that she had in school. But I think we've all had those experiences where you're sitting and you're all of a sudden just everyone's so fake. I see a very similar experience of Shoshanna in that previous clip of Shoshanna being like, you guys are all awful and why am I even hanging out with you guys? And now Hannah's having this experience. She just needed to get out of New York City to see it.
Streets in the dress with her hair tied up.
Panic in Central Park.
I can be a freak in the sheets in the room with her hands tied up.
I think when we go back to talking about Marnie being nostalgic for what could have been, what should have been with friends, like we talked about earlier, is also so evident in this episode. Thinking back to what would happen if we were still friends? And maybe that's something that you've thought about with friends that you've had in high school. I know I think about that a lot. I'm like, what would have happened if I didn't get into a fight with this person? What would have happened if I went to the same college as this person, or if we were roommates, or if we lived in the same town? And maybe with relationships with you as well. It's what would have happened? Where would we be? It's a should storm. We're always thinking about all the shoulds. Ultimately, at the end of this episode, we know what happens, but there's this moment where I think Marnie is feeling that same sense of hope that she has for the friend group, where she's like, well, if everything went my way, this is what every single day would feel like.
What do you think this is?
Oh my God. Jesus Christ. Relax.
You think for a moment that they're going to get back together and that things are going to be different. And this is before she obviously finds out that he's, doing bad stuff, right? You see him as I think he's a construction worker. And so you wonder, maybe he's not this big tech bro. Maybe he's just a humble dude and he's going to ground her. And this is finally what she needs. What an interesting scene that is, being underwater for a second and having that moment. I don't know, is it fear? Is it excitement? Is it second guessing? This scene of Hannah with that see-through shirt where her boobs are out half the time is just, again, so iconic. I cannot think of another single television show where someone was naked on set this much. She's like, no, I'm gonna have an entire night out where I'm just completely like that. And you can only imagine if she's naked on screen this much, how much she's naked off screen too, in front of everyone. And it goes back to this hyper-realism.
No matter what I do, no matter whether I, start a new nuclear missile crisis with my emotions or just sit back and chill and give someone a fruit basket. I can only control the mayhem that I create around me. But the crazy thing is that when I showed up, I heard screaming, and I heard my name, and I heard madness, and I knew that I was free, at least for tonight.
A lot of self-realization in this, and even you see after this, she's still super immature. So again, it all goes back and forth. There's not one moment with any of these girls where they're just like, this is when I realized, except for, I think, Shoshanna. This is one of those moments where she realized, I can only control what I do. And sometimes you have to see like the mayhem that's going on with other people. You need to stop looking at yourself and how much is going on with you and see what's going on with other people in order to see that.
You'd be like heaven to touch. I wanna hold you so much.
I love this for Shoshanna. I love how the last few seasons worked out for her. It was so beautiful. I think she found herself so much. I don't know if she necessarily had a great way of like telling all the other girls. I love that she started having this professional relationship with Ray and was just helping him with the shop, and it was just so beautiful. Iconic scene. I mean, this is the definition of girls. This is the definition of 2012 to 2016, and it's just such a beautiful depiction, even though it was towards the beginning of the show, that friendship, even with Marnie messing everything up and just causing absolute havoc for all the men in her life, she really is such a rock for Hannah. So it doesn't mean just because you feel like there's shambles going on in your life that you can't be a rock for other people, that you can't be a rock for yourself. And I hope this helps give you an amazing mirror into what your life is like using girls. And the next time you watch it, see yourself in all of it. See all the lessons that you can learn from it, and ultimately how you can use it to remember that you're allowed to be unhinged, you're allowed to be honest, you're allowed to live raw and unfiltered and non-AI and just so truthfully to yourself, just like I think Lena probably would have wanted you to know. I'll see you next time.